So hello everyone, what's going on? It's been a very long time since I last uploaded a YouTube video. I'm gonna cast the trees here any minute now, by the way, or any second. Okay, there it is. So yeah, very long time ago. I did upload some videos lately, I know, but those were all old recordings from 2019. I think one is even from 2017. I found them on my old hard disk. Well, that's basically what has been going on. So this was a very interesting game that I wanted to share with you guys, so let's get into it. The title says 16.5 plus, and pretty much all the players here are 16.5 plus, but you're gonna see very fast that I'm really not playing like 16.5 plus here. Like, what was I thinking putting him on the berries? Problem here was, just look at the TC. My TC got unlooped. Actually twice. First time it was my own fault, and the second time was just due to lag. I did press the loop button, but for some reason it didn't loop. So of course it's gonna be causing for delays. So yeah, let's see how this is gonna be going for me. As you see, still no. Just now I realized, and it's still not gonna. As you see, I pressed it twice because of the lag, probably, and that's why. Okay, so we've seen that. So that was not very good. As you can see, Coco is quite nicely gathering from the trees. So is my friend Coco. Used to be an old student, but now he's actually a pretty good player. He's 18 plus 1v1 now, I think. So pretty good. And the other guy on my team is my friend Trubbish here. He's playing the Ra like he's pretty much always playing, and he's pretty good as well. So let's have a look at the opponents. Let's just look at green. So this is gonna be Kronos, BXX Maxi. I saw in an RTS-L yesterday as well, I think. Don't really know him too good. Let's have a look at the upgrades. Just hunting dogs, which I also had, and this guy also hunting dogs. This is Valor, playing Oranos, pretty good player as well, I think. And yeah, this 4-stick guy, I didn't really know. Never really seen him online. Maybe it's some Smurf, no idea. But yeah, I don't want to spoil everything, so I'm not really gonna say anything about his performance yet. So let's have a look at what I'm doing. So the TC got unlooped twice, and as you can see, I'm pretty much 1 vil behind at this point, almost 2 actually. So, and the plan this game was actually to go for a fast advance. As you saw that I was going for the wood first. So let's see how I'm going to be repairing this, because I will be needing some kind of repair. Because otherwise I'm gonna be like 5 minutes up with way too little villagers, which isn't good, of course. So yeah, let's see. As you see, I'm saving my trees. More on that you will see a bit later. Coco is... we see a pink dot here. And that's Coco building his temple quite forwardish. Securing the gold as well, so pretty good position for him. He could be gathering some gold there later. So let's have a look what's happening here. Valor seems to be scouting that Coco is gathering his food here. And as you can see, I'm going full on food here, building the temple with my gold villager. And as you can see, I cancelled my villager because I thought it was more important to advance quickly. Because Coco and I had some strategy planned, which you will see in a bit. Trubbish is going for the hunt here. Pretty safe hunt. He should be able to gather there for a little longer until he gets his farms up, so he should be pretty much fine in there. So yeah, I'm just gathering from my hunt still here. And as I said, guys, there is gonna be like, this game was played pretty late in the night, and we're gonna see many mistakes from Coco, me, Trubbish, probably from the rest as well. Even though it was probably one of the worst games I played performance-wise, it was definitely one of the most interesting ones. So that's why I'm sharing it with you. As you can see, just split up my villagers here. And as you can see, I'm going for 420 up. about 420 I think it will be. And as you can see, I have only got 5 fills, so that's like really big damage to the economy. Not good for me, but at least I'm gonna up somewhat decent timing. But that 5 fills is gonna be a pretty big problem, I think. So yeah, as you can see, forest fire right now being casted with my Gaia forest, and the carnivore are quite nicely assisting with the units from Coco here, and I'm pretty much sure that the TC would go down. For people that don't know Gaia, I placed the forest here instead of here, so all the damage will go to the TC. I don't want this eco guild to eat any damage. That would be quite unfortunate. The TC might not fall then, so I want to maximize the damage on the TC. This is actually, I wonder how he could afford this. That was pretty nice balancing from the eco. Maybe some coincidence. Ah, he didn't go for his second barracks yet, so that's why he could afford it. Okay, that makes sense. And he's making Murmillo. And are my troops arriving yet? Let's have a look if they actually are. Well, they are running there, finally. Looping a double Terma here. Because I didn't really have the food economy to do anything. As you can see, gathering from the berries, they are not really ideal. As I didn't notice this hunt patch. A huge mistake by me, because that's gonna hold my economy back even more than it already is. I didn't notice it until way later. So, pretty bad there by me. So as said, guys, this is not gonna be looking like a 16-5 plus game. Like, not at all. Seems that the carnivore is still pretty much fine in there, but probably not for much longer. As I'm at least gonna eat one more Murmillo, so that's good. He's not does he have his Valor ready, actually? This Valor guy. Let's have a look. Oh, that's the wrong button. Where is he? Let's have a look. Okay, he actually doesn't have it ready, but he did upgrade one of his heroes, so my carnivore should be gone rather soon. And we have a bit of a fight here between my one Terma. Let's have a look what was going on here with Coco. I think he was messaging me in game that he lost some vills. I think like 2 or 3 probably, because this dead body is one of my Termas. Yeah, he's gathering from the berries for now. And my Terma are gonna do a little bit of raiding here. Let's see if Valor is gonna be noticing this. He actually is, so it seems like Valor is getting some assistance from the green player. Pretty good for him, because he's not gonna be able to hold Coco by himself for the time being. This Kyrie Ballista is gonna do some work against the Herzers and Ulfsarks. And as you can see, my Terma are dealing with the oracles there in his base. And the other Terma are still busy on the manor. Probably not the best thing, as I'm right now realizing that they should probably be assisting with these Terma here, as Terma are pretty good against other Terma. So how is that going for the eco ups? Just hand axe, sadly. Not too great. And how is it going for Trubbish? He's having his rain up. Quite plenty of farms, as we see. And he is not going for heroic just yet, but he should be very soon, as his army is already up, and he almost has the resource to do so. Torma quite nicely assisting now. And I think my carnivore should come here soon. Yeah, as you can see, I'm gonna try to kill the tower and then disrupt the gold mine for at least a bit, which I think was pretty good. But the sad part is that our armies are gone, and therefore he will have pretty easy time killing this carnivore. He did have to upgrade some guys to heroes though, as I didn't think he... Oh, he actually did have Valor. Well, then he still had to use the god power, so that's okay. So yeah, this Terma is gonna die if I'm not careful. These guys as well. I should be realizing now that these guys are not in a very good position. Oh, that's a waste. Very unfortunate. And as you see, I still had no idea about this hunt, which is pretty sad. because that would have helped my economy quite a bit. Yeah, as you can see, Trubbish is advancing to Hathor. Pretty good stuff going on. And green is actually having pretty good score, so let's have a look at what he's doing. He does have the second TC up. He is only looping from 1, because he doesn't have the economy to support 2. But he should probably make sure that he gets more food then, because that would help him quite a lot if he boomed a bit more. And so my Terma are retreating, as you can see. We kind of gave up for this for the time being, as we probably were not in the condition to fight. Yeah, not really. It's just a whole bunch of Terma from me and just a few Ulfsarax from Coco. So we're kind of pushed back now, and it seems like Red is retaking his TC. So the game on this side, our rush pretty much failed, because it didn't have any lasting damage. As you can see in our score, our economy is not doing too great either. So failed attempt. But that doesn't mean that we're done to give up yet. So let's see what's gonna happen. And how is Trubbish doing in the meantime? He did cast this locust somewhere. To prevent the TC. But it's still going up here from the looks of it. So that's kind of unfortunate. Was a nice attempt from Trubbish though, to make sure that the TC would not be going up, at least a little bit longer. The rock right now there. So he should probably make sure that he gets some military up himself. Maybe make Migdol, anything like it. Oh, I see the market coming up. Maybe some kind of fast mythic. Let's see what he will be doing. Though I'm not really thinking that too much, to be honest, because he actually does have Migdol somewhere. To the back, okay, just to protect the gold. Okay, probably no fast mythic then, because he's also looping all the cavalry. Probably just getting up to market to just prepare his trade. Yeah, Coco suiciding some units, also not his best game. And these guys should probably go out and raid, most likely. And as you guys can see, I started making Murmillo, because I had plenty guys on food at this point. Yeah, we're just gathering up some army. These Terma will do well against his Terma, and I'm gonna be trying to clear out the heroes as soon as he attacks. Okay, so let's have a look at this side, because there is actually a pretty decent fight going on right here. Sorry about that. Okay, so Trubbish is microing pretty well on the Toxotes here, but he's kind of outnumbered, but the TC will assist in the battle, and therefore he's going to be retreating. With the TC finished, that's going to be fire from there as well, so that would put him in pretty good position. I'm getting the Gaia trees there just to protect him a little bit more against any kind of melee attacks. Pretty good trees by me, but of course they are not going to be helping against these Petroboli. And Trubbish should probably do something about this ASAP. Okay, so my Oracle right now being killed over there. And we are just kind of still recovering on this side, from the looks of it. As is Red, of course, because his economy was hit pretty hard in the early game. He's not having too much army. He's having some more Murmillo though, so that would be pretty good for him in a fight. Yeah, just a few pickoffs, nothing special I think. And it seems I see a pretty big chunk here of green. And he's doing quite nice raiding on Coco's gold. It's gonna help quite a bit. Quite a few dead bodies here already. And more should be coming, because he doesn't really have anything to run to. Maybe my Terma should split off as well to do some raiding, because so far they are just defending. Which has to be done as well. But probably not with this entire big chunk, right? That's kinda overdo it in the defense. Just a few units would be enough to defend against Red. And this wall from yellow is pretty good, because therefore Coco will, rather Trubbish, will not be able to hit his Petroboli all that much with the cavalry. And therefore this will be free fire on the TC, and Trubbish can't do anything about that. How is his gold going? Okay, he has actually got quite nice gold, so he should have actually made some mercenaries. I think that would have been pretty helpful for him. Probably. But yeah, he's gonna be in pretty tough position here, and with the restoration here as well. I think Trubbish is in a pretty big situation here. And this time we're not really going anywhere with the pushing. We do have a nice fight here, which is going for us. But as I'm kind of outnumbered with the assistance from green, I'm gonna have to return. And all these Thermas, well, they're not too great against all these units. So you're not really gonna kill the Curio Ballista. Yeah, Trubbish is in pretty big trouble. He's just making his new Migdol now. But yeah, if red actually pushes forward a little bit more, rather yellow, it's gonna be a pretty big problem for Trubbish. And as you guys can see, in the meantime, I went for the 3 TCs in here, just to make up for my kind of bad economy early game. Well, a bit more than kind of bad, really bad. Just kind of trying to make up for the problems. Let's see if I can do some recovering. And as you can see here, Trubbish and rather Coco and I did quite nice catch here on the hero Therma, and they should all die. And as you can see, Coco is making Valkyries, which he did tell me about in game, and he told me he wanted me to remove the heroes. And right now the heroes are removed, and without the heroes the Atlantis players are gonna have pretty tough time against these Valkyries. Did he get the upgrade? From the looks of it, not. Would have been pretty good choice by Coco if he actually did get this upgrade, because he has quite a lot of guys. These guys should probably join these guys, as they are right now doing. Let's have a look at Trubbish in the meantime, who is having quite a tough situation here, with the Migdol falling yet again. Okay, so he's getting barracks up in the back. Maybe he should make another Migdol. Let's see if he has economy for this. He does, so he should probably make second Migdol anywhere near the back, so he can keep up military production. His gold just run out. And where can he actually go? Just this one in the front. Let's hope for him that yellow is not gonna find out about this too soon. There's this going in the meantime. We're kind of pushed back because I was focusing on the green army here, and I think this is gonna be resulting in Coco's even frosting, and I don't think this was actually too great of a frost. I think this would have been better positioned, to be honest, to give Trubbish some time. And let's be honest, this was Coco was pretty outnumbered here, but my units were pretty close, and they shouldn't have got more than one racks down, I think. Not much more than that, so yeah, but the TC is falling, and right now he is going for mercenaries, but with pretty much so much idle time on the gold, he's gonna run out of the gold pretty soon, and then he's gonna be in even more tough situation here. Sentinels coming up for a yellow. Yeah, in the meantime we're just Trubbish is mythic. Let's see what he's gonna do with the tornado. Yeah, he should probably deal with his villagers with this catapult. And he's tornadoing the forward base of Hades. Let's see if he gets any buildings down. He did get one barracks down. Okay, the fortress, that's a nice catch. I think the TC will not go down though, but it's pretty low. It's kinda too bad for Trubbish there. Seems like I did get some upgrades. Okay, so the mediums and the copper shields. Maybe I'm also getting the other upgrades. Usually I get them together, but from the looks of it I didn't. I did not get the what's it called? Not Lands of Stone. The Murmillo upgrade. What's it called? Bite of the Shark, of course. I usually get it at the same time as the mediums. And as you can see, I went heroic through Rhea. And I built my temple forward, so that's gonna be meaning that I'm gonna have some behemoths very soon. And I'm probably gonna advance to Mythic very soon as well, as I'm dropping down my markets right away, making 2, so I get my caravans out faster. And as we can see, the eco ups are quite a lot better for me now. I'm gonna be completely maxed out as soon as this one finishes. So good for me. And I think I got the entire baseline. Yes, copper baseline. Perfect. But yeah, we're gonna need to make some progress here very soon. More than just a bit of raiding, because Trubbish is falling pretty fast. And in the meantime, well, we're not doing that much, to be honest. Okay, so Shockwave on Coco's military here. And Coco is just on the 1 TC, and he's quite heavily raided pretty much all the time. Ooh, let's hope he's not gonna be noticing about these fills. Okay, it seems like he isn't, so that's good for me. Because this back gold mine here run out. This is gonna be pretty deadly. Pretty deadly indeed for Trubbish yet again, who is lost his TC yet again, dropping him down to only 1 TC. So against the 4 TC Hades, that's gonna be pretty hard for him to hold this any longer. So let's see. In the meantime, we're just kinda going back and forth with his troops, and he's pretty much outnumbering me. And he's having battle units as well, so this, if this would come to a fight, this is not going to be ending all too well for me. So let's see what's going to be happening. There's more and more behemoths coming out, and the Atlas is coming up. So let's see if I'm going to be holding this long enough with the military, and not going to have too many losses. Before my Atlas comes up. And from the looks of it, there was a vortex on Coco's TC. Luckily this palace is not gonna come through for him. That would have been even worse for him. And he's even dropping to 0 TCs. Trubbish on 1, it's looking pretty bad for us. But now, I have my implode ready. With more and more behemoths coming into the fight. And there we... Is it coming? I'm waiting for it to come. I kind of expected me to cast it right away. I probably didn't want my behemoths to be in there. That's probably what I'm waiting for. Come on, why am I not casting this? You really need to go for it very soon, as Trubbish is pretty much is falling even quicker with each minute. Okay, so I'm massing up even more behemoths, which will result in pretty much nice push. But yeah, Trubbish is having all kinds of trouble holding him, which makes sense, because the Hades is on 4 TCs by now. Okay, they are retreating, that should be... They're actually not, but these behemoths, luckily for me, they are pretty tanky. So that's good for us. Using the trader on one of his Hacker Gigantes. I think that's a nice catch from me. Yeah, these caravans are getting slaughtered as well very soon, probably. Yeah, this Hades stealing his TC. Okay, luckily these behemoths have quite high PS armor, so I think this one should be surviving. And my myth unit spam seems to be quite a bit too much for the pretty much unupgraded red units. And how is my upgrades coming in? Not that much more. And are they coming in the meantime? Well, at least the heavy archers are coming in. Okay, so that's something. Yeah, Vortex right now being casted, and there was actually some troops in the back here as well, so that's gonna be even more damage. So yeah, nice catch of the Hacker Gigantes there by the Argus. And yeah, Trubbish is just holding with his 1 TC here, and he's actually doing pretty decent job in my opinion. Because we have to take in perspective that he's holding a 5 TC Hades, and he's still alive. So yeah, let's have a look here, and let's switch then back to Trubbish. So the TC is going down, and there's more siege from me coming in. And I don't really see any way for Red to be stopping this. Let's switch to Red's perspective here. Yeah, my units are better upgraded than his, which makes sense, because he had a really tough early game. And just all these myth units, I don't really see how Red could be stopping this alone. And Green seems to be mostly focusing on Coco's back base, who is still on 0 TCs by the way. So Coco seems to be Is he actually pretty much out of the game at this point? Oh, he does at least have some units, and he's taking the forward TC, but yeah, his home base is completely gone, and this is pretty much all he has. So yeah, at this point, pretty tough situation for us. And I remember during the game that I was actually asking them, do we call it? Do we call GG by now? Because I was pushing here. But I kind of thought it wasn't fast enough because Trubbish was falling. Coco was gone at this point, pretty much. So but yeah, at the same time, Red was gone as well, of course. So let's have a look how this game is gonna be developing. This Turma will do nicely against my Myth units. Luckily, I'm focusing there with the Marmilio. And it seems like Coco built some army for himself. And he got quite a lot of green citizens, which is good for him. And it seems like Trubbish is pretty much dead by now. He's still holding on here. But he's not gonna be holding this for much longer. And why did it take Yellow actually such a long time? Let's have a look at his unit composition. Okay, so he actually has pretty nice units with the long range siege in there. Is he mythic? Okay, maybe then he should be making some I knew he was mythic, by the way, because he had that earthquake way earlier. He should maybe make some Helapoli as well, because they are pretty tanky. Although these guys are pretty nice for the long range, of course. And as we can see on this side of the map, it seems that I'm going for the push on green, as I kind of needed to do something more on that side if we wanted to have any chance of winning. The Destroyer getting rid of all Coco's buildings and also probably my buildings, and my TC has been sniped by this Trubbish, so that's gonna drop me to only 2. And my gold situation is not too great either from the looks of it. So yeah, green losing 1 TC, that's pretty good for us in the meantime. And I should be focusing on this side very soon now, I think. Because when Trubbish falls, I'm gonna be next in line. And it's gonna be like 6 TC Hades as soon as he claims this. Against my 2 TCs. Should probably deal with this with my villagers or with my trader. Do something about this at least. Because this is kind of a waste. I do have fortified. Mason's not yet ready. I should be getting it soon to deal with the siege from Yellow. And as you can see, I'm trying to regain this TC in the back, just to keep up my population, because I was kind of realizing this one is gonna be beyond grabs pretty much, and this one won't be alive for much longer either. So I kind of needed to do something. So green dropping to only 2 TCs for the moment, and Coco at this point asked me, could you please go on Yellow's back? Not sure if this would have been the best decision. Maybe just completely remove green would have been a bit better. Although I'm not sure if this would have been enough army for that. Probably not. Kind of an TC attempt here by Trubbish, but it seems to have failed. Makes kind of sense with all these destroyers in there, and as you can see right now I'm going for the upgrades. Probably should have taken the other TC to upgrade this, but it doesn't really seem like Yellow is going to be punishing me for this all too much. This is not good micro. This guy should probably do something a bit more productive than killing this Murmillo. So I did get the TC down, but I don't think that these behemoths are gonna be living a very long life with the Perseus in here. Probably not gonna be surviving for very long. Trubbish's last buildings are going down on this side. So that will mean that it's gonna be developing in a war between Yellow and me on this side. And it will be Coco versus Green on this side. And Trubbish and Valor are gone for this time. Trubbish is gathering up is setting up his TC here, however, and getting up his military buildings. So I think we will have some assistance from Trubbish a little bit later again. But for the time being, it's gonna be me alone here versus yellow, and he's having all this long range siege with the palace coming up. No way for me to do anything about this for the time being, as I'm still not switching really onto this side. It's probably gonna be a mistake by me, because it's gonna take quite a while to transfer all my army. I did seem to have set up quite nicely on this side, but that's not gonna help me much against yellow, sadly. Okay, as you can see right now, I'm kind of getting in panic. So it was kind of a mistake for me to wait this long, and I'm not really paying attention to this. These fillies are gonna die very soon. Kind of defensive forest here. This guy is also gonna die. So as you can see, I'm even making Terma now, which isn't the worst against all these archers from Hades, but as you can see, I'm kind of panicking, not really doing too much productive on this side, because my plan was actually to keep pushing here, but I think I didn't pay enough attention to how the situation was developing on this side. From the looks of it, yellow's actually more interested in killing this last bit of base from Trubbish than he is for killing my stuff here. Yeah, as you can see, I'm even making Kira Ballista, just a disparity, which he didn't really have too much hoplites, so it didn't really make sense. I should probably be switching into Termas very soon. This barracks is not gonna survive for long, and this guy should probably do something. And these guys as well. There's quite a bit of idle time, and as you can see, I'm trying to get rid of these catapults at all costs. Population count for me still dropping. And as you can see, I'm getting some Raxus up in the back, which should be pretty useful for me. I should probably unloop this, which I did, so that's good. Yeah, so this temple is probably gonna be falling as well, but this behemoth, it just might get rid of these catapults. And I'm gonna lose 2 more villagers from the looks of it. So yeah, it's gonna be 6 TC Hades. That's gonna be a pretty big problem for me and Trubbish to hold this. At least Trubbish is still here, and he has some kind of army here. He will be assisting me to some extent. Green taking this forward TC, which makes sense, because he's gonna need to hold off Coco. What's gonna be happening here in the back? Quite a lot of army from green. And he's just keeping Coco from mining any gold, which is good for him. And red is gonna be cleared out once again, leaving him with nothing yet again. Oh, his upgrades, not that much, and probably on the military not either. Yeah, just still the copper shields, not much more. So at least I got rid of the catapults for the time being. This guy should probably go a bit more back, where he will be a bit safer. And he's making Hippospists against me, even though I don't really have that much Murmillo, so not really sure what's going on with that. Is yellow actually doing something in the meantime? Because this doesn't really look like 6TC Hades, to be honest. He isn't popped from the looks of it. But he still has like 40C army, 40C pop. So I'm kind of wondering where it all is. He has some shades chasing down there. Okay, so he's dealing with Trubbish there in the meantime, who has gotten quite a nice amount of carrots. He's a bit lacking in the upgrades, so let's have a look at this Hades. Does he have any upgrades? Quite lacking as well. And how are my upgrades doing? Okay, so pretty decent. So 2 bronze and one shield. So, and how are the Terma? Did I get the Rhea upgrade? Yes, I did. So that's gonna be good for me against all these hoplites and Hippospits, with the better hack armor for my Terma. Seems like Coco's doing pretty decent push on this side. That's gonna be good for him. Bit of a build up here from red on this side as well. This is actually a pretty good idea by yellow, by the way. And I noticed it in game as well. He's gonna give his TC away to red so he can make villagers. So that's a pretty good move. And also, he wasn't able to get his full pop anyway, so it makes more sense to make sure that his teammates can have some more pop. As you can see, I'm repairing his low cost. I don't want to fall to 1 TC. That would be absolutely horrible for me, as I'm barely holding on with the 2 TCs. More Hippospits coming in, even though I have almost full Turma and Archers. I should probably unloop these Turma and replace them by Contarius. Because... or maybe actually Archers. I don't really see that many Archers from him anymore. Where are the Gastro feeds, by the way? Why is he not making any Gastro feeds? He would be able to take this TC down in just seconds with my little army there. I am almost popped on the 2 TCs though. I'm not sure where the army is from me at this point. Here is some army moving in. And this is what I actually remember about this game. I had some barracks looped somewhere, but I just couldn't find it anywhere. And I had to micro at this side. I couldn't really pay too much attention, just looking all over the map and look at the barracks. And as you can see, Trubbish is taking the holding over at this point. He should probably fight a bit more into my towers, because this is not optimal for him. And my reinforcements will be arriving very soon. And we can see my population fell quite a bit because I was out of gold. Am I remedying this situation at this point? Yes, I am. I'm gathering gold quite fast. Yeah, the Turma is probably not gonna be surviving for very long against all these shades. And now this is better position. Trubbish realized that it was probably more optimal position to fight. Gonna use the trader on this Petrobolas. And I'm walking it back to safety, which is good. In the meantime, what's Coco doing? Coco is pushing quite rapidly here. With actually Trubbish assistance. This was a really nice idea by Trubbish. Very much liking this idea. Because, well, Coco doesn't seem to have too much siege. And this is going to be quite helpful for him. As I don't really see any way Green could be stopping this army with those catapults. So pretty well done by Trubbish in there. And how am I holding in the meantime? So, it seems like... okay, he still has some army left. Still a bit lacking in the upgrades. I'm still having not much upgrades either, because my food economy was down for so long. And I should probably focus a bit less on the gold, because I kind of overdid rescuing the situation here. And as you can see, I'm pushing with this one catapult, but I should probably build siege palace, I was gonna say. Palace or behemoths ASAP. Do I need a temple for that first, and a palace? So yeah, as you can see, I'm pushing, and I should be falling back rather soon, because this is not very good use of my army to put them against the TC. As I'm right now realizing, this is gonna be a bit better position for me. This probably not, as I seem to be realizing. Yeah, now it's out of range, okay. So that's good for me. And this Petroboli is gonna do away with this Hilapoloi very soon, probably. And we see that green is falling now. Red has been out of the game for a very long time. Let's see if he is going for Hyperion. But does he have any kind of army at all? He has some citizens here, but no army. He's pretty much out of the game altogether. Quite nice building spam here by green. It's going to be hard to push through, but with all these catapults, I don't think it's going to be any kind of problem for Coco and Trubbish to succeed here at pushing green back. In the meantime, I'm in quite a tough situation, but they seem to be still holding this side for the time being with Trubbish assistance with the chariots. So we should be pretty much fine on this side. And how is Hades doing any upgrades? Still not much upgrades. How is his economy doing? Okay, so he's lacking in the gold as well. How are Green's upgrades, by the way? Okay, so just copper baseline as well. And how about Coco? Don't see any Coco units at this point. Let's have a look at his perspective then. Okay, he's having non-armory upgrades as well, so that probably makes sense that my pretty horrible termite units, well, of course they are good against these archers, but why they are doing relatively well, just because I am pretty much doing a whole lot better than all the others on the upgrades. So that's gonna give me like the little edge in this position. And it seems like Coco couldn't really use his population as well, his pop limits. And yellow doesn't seem to be either. And now I'm kind of realizing why I was even able to hold this, because a 2 TC Atlantis in late game should never be able to hold a 4 TC Hades. Like never. But, or at least it's very rare. It shouldn't happen at least if the Hades player is good. But if he is struggling with the gold, then it makes sense that he's having all kind of trouble, especially since Trubbish is helping here as well, who is getting at least the champion archers in the meantime. And Green has some nice back build here, but is he doing anything with that? He has some veils there idling, and this was probably the barracks that I lost track of earlier. And he's just gonna push back a little bit with those siege, with those fire siphons. And Trubbish is providing with the siege, and I am still doing with the archers. And how am I doing economy wise at this point? Okay, so I seem to have recovered my economy quite a bit. And I actually do wonder, because I think these Hades, he got quite a lot of food and favor. I'm not sure why he wasn't making Chimera. I think those cost food, right? I don't really play any Greek. Let me check. I think they cost food. No, they actually cost gold. Okay, so that makes sense why he's not making any. Okay. Okay, so then my Argus upgrades. I also upgrading my Argus just in case that there would come Chimera at some point. I had to spare resource, I had to spare favor, so I was like, why not go for it? Trubbish is doing really well with the siege and all the archers. It's gonna be too much for yellow to hold. And it seems like green is still holding on to Coco. At least a bit, but he is in quite a tough situation. This is like really ridiculous. We are still having heavy units on this side, I think, from... Yeah, heavy units here. We're having medium units on this side. I mean, me and Straubish are the only one having even champion units, and 38 minutes in game. That's pretty ridiculous stuff going on. Pretty rare actually in a 16-5 plus game. And I will admit that this really doesn't look like a 16-5 plus game at all. I mean, everyone is just spamming his units everywhere, not really paying even too much attention to what's going on. These guys should probably take care of this if they are just idling there anyways, waiting to build. Yeah, so I should probably do something about that. Of course I can't see it. Did I loop anything interesting there? Let's have a look. Okay, so I'm actually looping Contarius now, so that should help against Siege at least a bit. And I thought I was looping Behemoth a bit earlier as well. Yes, I did. So I'm not sure if it's looped. But at least I'm making them, so that's good. Okay, Coco is doing a pretty nice job with the Frost Giants. And is he actually a mythical age? Let me check. Okay, so Coco is not actually a mythical age. What is going on? His economy is in pretty bad position from the looks of it in the entire game because he got raided so heavily. So in that regard it makes sense. And now it makes sense that this side was falling a lot slower than I was expecting it to do. And as you can see, yellow is trying to prevent my TC here from coming up at all costs. Trubbish took a back TC in the meantime, so that is going to be meaning that he's going to have more population, as we can see in the battlefield. And he's still annoying everyone with the rock. How many catapults does he still have in there? Can we actually see this? Okay, 4, so that means he only lost 1. And that will be meaning that he will be quite annoying with all the catapults. These guys probably should not be idling here. Okay, so where is Red's army? He still doesn't have any kind of army at all. Probably because his Raxus got destroyed. Because I did see some destroyers earlier, I think. Yeah, it seems like the enemies are gonna be seeing that the game is out of their control at this point. Yellow thought he wouldn't be able to win this side anymore since I got my TC back, the Behemoths were coming in, and the upgraded Fire Siphon soon as well. This side was falling, he couldn't hold Coco anymore. So that's gonna be GG for us. Despite Yellow having the top score, he wasn't able to make the win for his team. So as I said, pretty crazy game actually, with Trubbish and Coco both completely removed from the game, as was the case for Red. They were all completely removed at some point, and they still managed to recover and make themselves useful. Did Trubbish get his upgrades in the end? He did not actually. How is he doing in the resources? Yeah, he was still having resources trouble, as was everyone was complaining about the gold all game. Actually in all chat, I think. He was sending it to all the players, as nobody was having any kind of gold all game. It seems like I did get my full line of upgrades in the end. And how about... He did get some more upgrades, but not that much. And Coco did get some upgrades in the end, so that's good for him. And that's probably why he ended up winning this side in the end. Also with his more TCs. And he was popped at the end, so that makes sense. The 2 TC green is not gonna hold the Odin if it's late enough in the game. What am I saying? That doesn't make any sense. The 2 TC is not gonna hold the 5 TC Odin. That was what I was meaning to say, as long as the Odin does have the economy to pop. Okay, so let's have a look at the post game. So as we said earlier, we have Yellow with the top score on pretty much everything except the improvements parts. Probably that's about the upgrades that I had more of. Yeah, we see in the economy he was far superior to everyone. Yes, green and red didn't really get to trade much, and that's probably why he didn't really get. What was I saying? Why they didn't really get too many upgrades? He didn't have economy to support it. Yeah, you can see these guys are quite a lot lower than the others, but also Coco actually. He's quite a lot lower in the gold. And Reds, now it actually makes sense that he wasn't making any army, because from the looks of it, he tributed quite a lot of resources. So he probably tributed rather than making army. So let's have a look at the KD. Not too great for Yellow, and he was actually making Hippospits into or archers, so that makes sense that the KD is not going to be too great. of course most building raised, as he was pressuring quite hard, both on Trubbish and me the entire game. For me, not the entire game, of course. And actually Red is pretty decent unit skilled, considering that he had no military and was gone half the game. So it seems that I'm positive in the KD, Trubbish as well. Coconut around equal, so that's kind of alright. Same for green. So yeah, I think this was the reason that I was able to hold the Hades, except for him not maxing out his population. The upgrades were far superior for me, and even though my units are gonna be weaker than the Greek units, if I'm gonna have the upgrades and he is not, well then the Greek units aren't really gonna be stronger, right? So I guess that pretty much saved me. Him not getting the upgrades, whereas I was getting the upgrades. So Terma was my favorite unit, and Behemoths from the looks of it, made quite a lot of them. Coco was really happy about making his Frost Giants, from the looks of it. Okay, so let's have a look here. How many civilians did I actually get? 43, that's pretty nice trade for me actually. Then as you can see, he did have quite a lot of units, but he just couldn't hold me and Trubbish anymore, despite us having lower amount of units. Here's the implode, and as you can see, that was pretty much all army from Red gone because of the implode. So he had no army to defend my Behemoth spam with, and therefore he was gonna be gone for the moment there. And pretty much the entire game from them. Here you see some gold spikes from me and Coco, and also yellow in the end. But as you can see, the gold was going to be very low for most throughout the game pretty much. Very nice eco for yellow from the looks of it. Mine was also not bad, I think, compared to the rest at least. And well, it seems like Coco and Red were really struggling with their economy. But Coco was on 0 TCs for a very long time, and he got raided all the time, so that kind of makes sense. Same for Trubbish. He was doing really well earlier, even better than Yellow actually. But yeah, when he was going to be falling in the military probably, or in the settlements, let's see. Yeah, around here he started getting behind on Yellow, which makes sense. Alright, so very interesting game. Very interesting game indeed, in my opinion at least. So the first rush from Coco and me failed, probably, well, not only of course, the map was pretty big, my build order got fucked up by 2 times not looping my veils. So that wasn't gonna be too great for me. Also 15 seconds delay won't help in the advancing. Actually more, but I managed to make it only 15 seconds in the end. Only, it's not really only, since it's quite a lot to be honest, but it's better than like 1 minute plus, let's say it like that. So yeah, good initial rush failed. My Behemoths did quite a nice job in the mid game, which gave Coco some momentum, and in the end he was going to be able to win the side along with Trubbish catapults. And our side, well, we are kind of struggling to hold, but we managed to hold, Trubbish and me, and in the end we even ended up pushing back, as that was the time when Yellow was going to be realizing that the game was out of his control. So I think that's enough talking about the game for now. Thank you guys for watching if you made it this far, and I'm hoping to put some videos out more very soon. Bye bye.